Good afternoon and welcome to this meeting of the Education, Skills and Culture Scrutiny Committee on the 22nd of July 2021. Just to make you aware, today's meeting will be recorded. Can I also welcome any members of the public and press to today's meeting? Can I kindly ask you to observe the meeting only and not speak or participate? I'd also like to remind everybody to switch off their phones and switch them to silent for the duration of the meeting. Can I refer you to the protocols for remote meetings which have been previously circulated? Namely, your microphone should be switched to mute unless you are speaking. Should you wish to ask a question or make a comment, please indicate via the chat function or by raising your electronic hand by Teams. I will assume that you have all read the paperwork before us today prior to the meeting. I realise you've only had the urgent item at the end of yesterday. Please only use the chat function to indicate if you wish to speak as an alternative to the electronic hand function or to raise any technical issues. When asking a question, can you please indicate which page number you're referring to? The first item on the agenda is to do the roll call. I'm Councillor Sonia Reynolds and I'll be chairing this meeting and I'm present. I'll now call on Charlotte, Democratic Services Officer, to take the roll call. Charlotte?
Yes, Chair. So I'll mark you as present. Councillor Rydian Maisen.
Yeah, present, Charlotte.
And apologies from Councillor Crowley. Sian Harris.
Present.
Lynn Jones.
Present, Charlotte.
Councillor Dennis Keogh.
Present, Charlotte.
Miller. Apologies from Councillor Marcia Spooner. Councillor Rebecca Phillips.
Charlotte, I managed to make it. Sorry, I'm here.
Thank you. Oh, sorry. Councillor Rebecca Phillips. Councillor Mark Prothero.
Present, thanks, Charlotte.
Councillor Suzanne Renkes.
Present.
Councillor Anthony Richards.
Present.
Dave Whiteblock.
Present, thank you, Charlotte.
Wood.
Present.
Councillor Joe Hale.
Present, Charlotte.
And then I've had apologies from Marie Caddick, Victor De Benedictis, Adam Moore. Also had apologies from Linda Newman, Councillor Alan Lockyer.
Present, Charlotte.
Councillor Peter Rees.
Present, Charlotte.
Yes.
You say that again? Was that me, Charlotte?
Yes, sorry, Chris.
Sorry, you broke up. Yeah, I'm here, and John Burge is present. He's just rebooting his computer.
Right, okay. And Ian Guy.
I'm present, Charlotte.
And Tammy Davis.
Present.
Have I missed anyone at all? No, then Chair, that's everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Charlotte. Chair's announcements. We've chosen to scrutinise only the urgent item, urgent report on culture, heritage and strategy. So, I would ask that members now consider declaring making any declarations of interest related to this, please. I see no declarations, so we'll move on and we'll look at the minutes of the 28th of June 2021, therefore approval. Can I have a proposer to approve the minutes?
I move, Chair.
I second, Chair.
Thank you. In that case, we move to we're not doing any other pre-decision scrutiny because they're standard items. Forward work programme for noting. Any comments on the forward work programme? I have indicated that according to what we discuss in the urgent item, we may wish to consider the forward work programming and inclusion of items around culture and heritage going forward. Right, in that case, the urgent item. I've had the notification of the urgent item, the culture and heritage strategy report. Chris, can I ask you to present on this item, please?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. This item came to my email account yesterday morning, so I'm bringing it on behalf of Andrew Thomas. It's an urgent item, I presume, because of the timing of the August recess. There are 2 points written in by Karen Jones. One is that we would like to explore the heritage side of things to see whether there is scope there. And the other is that we would not be putting in at the moment, at this point, any application form for the city approach. So because we don't know enough about it for the cultural heritage side of things. So in the report itself, I'd like to bring your attention to the section on my document. It would be on bottom of page 2, start of page 3. And if I may, Chair, I'll just read this section. Having considered the work that is needed to submit a quality expression of interest against any current priorities with an extremely challenging deadline of July 19th, officers have reluctantly concluded that we are not in a position to submit a bid on this occasion. However, if members were to agree that a focus should be given in developing a culture and heritage strategy for the county borough outlined above, the council would be in a stronger position to consider bidding in future rounds. And I think, Chair, that's what sums up this report.
Thank you, Chris. I'd also asked if we could have any further information on what money in terms of capacity funding for the council was available from the Levelling Up Fund, because there's a query about the possibility of the council needing to consider further resources to take this forward, and build on what's already available from that fund. Would you be able to give that information, please?
I don't have that information, sorry, Chair, but I'll go and try and find out for you.
Thank you. I emailed in yesterday, so I'd hoped there was something coming through. Are there any questions from members? Councillor Anthony Richards, please.
Great, diolch yn fawr, Cadeirydd. Thank you, Chair. And thank you, Chris. I know obviously you've been put on the spot here a little bit with only having it yesterday. As you said, in this report, it is mentioned that recent debates have demonstrated that the heritage of our place is something that is very important to elected members and to residents. And it states that you're seeking clarification, the priority that members would wish to give to this work in order to enable officers to provide a clear assessment. And you mentioned yourself, explore if there is any scope. To my mind, this is not a recent priority. In my opinion, this is a priority that I and other members have been raising for many years before my time as a councillor. And I am going to just remind members that the leader of Plaid Cymru on Neath Talbot Council, Councillor Alan Llywelyn, mentioned in a previous debate on how this has been raised for over a quarter of a century. So this is a priority. If I can just beg your indulgence for just a couple of moments, in the area that I represent, we have a wonderful team of volunteers, and I just want to put on record my thanks and gratitude to those volunteers who are actively working in our community to raise the culture, the heritage and the arts of the area. We have volunteers at things like Pontardawe Heritage Visitor Centre, Pontardawe History Society, the Canal Society. We have web pages created by volunteers, new initiatives, exciting initiatives that the people in the Pontardawe area are exploring already, because Pontardawe is steeped in history and culture. We had the Gilbertson family, who were the most important proprietors in the town, manufacturing iron, steel and tin plate. And the Gilbertson Company made the turnplate roof for the west wing of the White House in Washington, DC. Can you believe? And as well as the metalwork, there was significant coal mining in the area, pottery at Ynys Meadow. Councillor Reynolds will know about the history behind Tairgwaith racetrack, etc. The Church of St. Peter's with the French style architecture, Swansea Canal, and that accessibility by a canal enabled the industrial development of the area, which started with the Ynys Derw Ironworks. Members will be more than familiar with the Cwmdy Glen, the lovely wooded valley leading from the cross at the centre of Pontardawe, which has a beautiful walk through Glanreed Plantation. And there is a point for me, indulging you with all of this history, because that plantation was once in the grounds of the Glanreed House, which is now in ruins. The fine house was built again by the Gilbert sons and was used as a hospital during the First World War before being demolished. And now Cwmdy Glen, as you know, is a tranquil and beautiful place to walk. One of the council-run buildings, Pontardawe Arts Centre, and art centres in general, the Gwyn Hall, Princess Royal, etc., are not only havens for artists developing work, they also deliver cost-effective social impact and creative education. Forward-looking arts organisations now focus on the coalescence of artistic excellence and social impact, the broader health of our communities, and offering public spaces that truly enrich the high streets that they inhabit. And this is especially the case for Pontardawe. We are all aware of the increasing demands on council resources, and I believe that the council should be playing a central role in finding creative solutions to fulfilling social remits. The council has a role to prioritise engaging those who would otherwise have no opportunity to engage with the arts, the culture, or have any social cohesion, in fact. And having this strong strategy, as you've asked for in the report, having this strong strategy to focus on the arts, culture and heritage creates substantial increases in audiences, visitors, boosting revenues, businesses, and could in turn reduce outgoings in other areas for the council. And I'll just give one example. Crucially for the council, we should be working to deliver a public health agenda, combating issues around the isolated elderly, special needs, obesity, young people, people with mental health.
Can I ask you to stick to the agenda, please, Councillor?
Yeah, I am sticking. It's a strategy that was wanted, and these are all. If we spend a high proportion on the budget on adult social care, then perhaps if more of them had experienced the arts, being out in the environment and enjoying the heritage, then that figure wouldn't be so high. So I will get to my question as you've asked, Chair. There is so much more I could talk about, though, on this subject, but I do have two questions. Why is this report being presented to members after the deadline for submitting a City of Culture expression of interest? I'm really unclear why it's the day after the submission. I'm really concerned you were quick to bring it the day after. Maybe a more proactive approach a week ago, 2 weeks ago, a month ago would have been better. And more broadly, I have listed a number of things in my community, just my community of Pontardawe. But there's something to be made of a county borough that has been blessed, absolutely blessed with so much heritage, so much culture, but due to its own, in my opinion, mismanagement, doesn't feel confident putting an expression of interest in. Why is that? Diolch, Cadeirydd.
Thank you. I don't know if you feel you wish to make a response to that at all, Chris, or whether any other members have points to raise.
Well, the first thing I'd like to say is that I can't argue with a single word that Councillor Richards said about our rich heritage that we have within Neath, Talbot and wider, obviously, within the Welsh remit. To answer the questions in order, I don't know, Councillor, why it's been brought today and not a couple of weeks ago, but I don't think it would have made a huge difference a couple of weeks ago. The report does say that we're not in a position to put a bid in, but we would like to be in the future. And even from what you've said in the last sort of 10 minutes, it's obvious that we need to scope what we have, what's already there, and what we can do. So that answers both questions, really, is that we should have one, but the officers would like permission from members to scope out what that would entail. and then a more detailed report could come to you with costings, levelling up funds, and that sort of thing. That's all I could probably answer to that, Chair.
Thank you, Chris. Councillor Keogh.
Thank you, Chair. I admire Anthony's enthusiasm. You know, if I started in on about Margam and Port Talbot and Aberavon, we'd be here all afternoon. But the thing is that something that I did while I was mayor. I'm going to say while I was mayor, obviously that term come to an end, and I requested to be on this committee because of the culture aspect of it. Because while I was mayor, I was pushing a number of things at that time. Such as our own international Eisteddfod, our own Eisteddfods involving all our schools. I'm going to say, you know, we have so much culture with our children to talk with our Welsh heritage, you know, although I'm half Irish. But what I'm trying to say, yeah, like Anthony, I'm just as passionate about our culture. And I dare say that some members from Neath can say the same thing. You know, as the member for Carmarthen will tell you, you know, Carmarthen is not even scratching the surface up there. If you know, you started digging into what Carmarthen was part of this borough, what went on up there during the Industrial Revolution. But thank you for that. But I say, yeah, we've got to push ahead with this, and it's got to come back to this committee to give it the impetus it needs. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Keogh. I'd like to just remind councillors of the period that we've just gone through and the work that the education staff and the team involved with all of this have had to be very much engaged with, and also the short deadlines that have been coming through from UK government on some of this funding, the work that's just gone on with the Levelling Up Fund and the CRF, very, very short deadlines involving all these sorts of staff. And now the Community Renewal Fund, which, as I understand, came out with a 2-week deadline. So there are staff running around trying to do all of the work that needs to be done. I quite understand why there was a feeling that there was no capacity to achieve a bid for this year. And I think we take on board all the points about culture. I agree very much that having been involved in putting in a bid just before lockdown to the National Lottery Heritage Fund to look at energy use in the Ammon Valley and Upper Swansea Valley throughout the period, and look at where energy is going and is going in the future, linked with our Lamantawi and the work that's going on renewables there in my community. So it is very much a developing area that we can build on, and we can consider a bid going forward. I get the feeling that the committee is quite positive about that. I'm not seeing anything against that view. So, Chris, I think you can take away that the committee would like to see a worked up strategy and a look at heritage and culture in the round, so that we can be in a better position moving forward. And
Chair, sorry, can I just double check that both recommendations at the end of the document are being adhered to then?
I'll come to those in a minute, Chris.
Thank you.
And we're looking very much at how the funding can be found for that. So I'd be very grateful if you could, at some point over the summer, inform through Charlotte the committee of the available resources from the current bids, and we'll be looking for the future. Can I therefore ask the committee if they would like to approve the recommendations and ask for a proposer for both recommendations?
I propose, Chair.
Chair, just for clarity as well, it's going to Cabinet Board as well. So just
Cabinet it is.
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
Right, it's going to Cabinet Board, but the recommendations are about, you know, whether or not we're happy for it to go to Cabinet Board.
It.
So yeah. So you proposed, Dennis?
I propose, Chair.
Can I have a seconder, please?
I second that, Chair.
Thank you very much. In that case, we look forward to the outcome of that and taking this item further on. And thank you very much, Chris. And my apologies, you got dropped in, but so did we a bit. So
No problem, Chair.
thank you very much. I'm now going to draw the meeting to a close. Thank you for your attendance, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye.
You all. Take
Bye,
care.
everyone.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye, bye.